Hi everybody, my name is Gary Mattei and welcome to the Transition Kitchen. You're watching this right now because you're curious. Maybe you are vegan before 6. Maybe you are just meatless on Mondays. Or maybe you really do want to take the plunge because your New Year's resolution for 2015 is to get off of the dairy, get off of the meat, and get onto a plant-strong diet. And I'm going to help you do that in this segment called the Transition Kitchen. The first thing we're going to make is mayo. And it's vegan mayo. And most of the ingredients you already have in your pantry at home, except probably, if you're just the curious type, you probably haven't ventured into this yet. This is tofu. This is called silken tofu. There's the extra firm tofu out there, there's the tofu's packed in water, and then there's a tofu in a box most of the time. You can also find silken tofu in one of these guys, but look for the organic silken tofu at your grocery store. You have to blend it up, and we're going to do that right now with this blender. That's all you need. This blender and this third of a block of tofu. It comes in a box. It comes with a little water, and you're just going to want to put that in there just like that. I almost lost it. It was almost a tofu fumble, but I recovered quite nicely. The next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put some vinegar. This is a little bit, and get the recipe at responsibleeatingandliving.com, but that's about a teaspoon, maybe 2 of apple cider vinegar. There's a little lemon juice. How simple is that so far, right? You probably have all this stuff already at home. Here's a little sugar. That's about a teaspoon of salt. And then some good old-fashioned mustard. That's about a teaspoon of mustard in there. We're going to put a half a cup of olive oil into this after I blend this up. Plug your ears. It's going to get loud. Okay, just like anything else you make, vegan or non-vegan, you're going to have to scrape down the sides. There's a little work involved. And you're worth it, right? Yeah, you are. Now this is already starting to look like mayo, and I haven't even added the cold pressed olive oil yet. And that's the kind of olive oil you're going to want to look for. Cold pressed, okay? So, like I mentioned, it's a half a cup. I'm going to turn the blender back on, and I'm going to remove the little cap here, and I'm going to just stream it in there, stopping every now and then to scrape down the sides, and voila, before you know it, you're going to have a wonderful mayo product that's vegan. So I'm going to turn it on. Scrape it down. And that's all there is to it. That's easy and fun. When it chills up, it's going to look something like this. I've got a jar of it right here that I've made ahead of time. And this has been sitting in there right before we went on the air. Look at that. That's mayo. I mean, come on. It's unbelievable. It's mayo. I was going to put that back in there. Did you see that? I caught myself though. Caught myself almost double dipping in the mayo. But this is really delicious, and you can do so much with this now. We're going to also take this half a cup of mayo, which is a little more than half a cup, but I used a half a cup of olive oil and a third of a block of silken tofu. We're going to turn this right now in front of your very eyes into vegan ranch dressing. Here I've got some chopped fresh rosemary and thyme. I'm going to throw that in there. I have some garlic powder. You can use fresh garlic. There's no problem with that. This recipe calls for dried powdered garlic. I've got some onion powder. Again, you could use some small little diced minced onions, but I'm trying to make it easy on you. But if you're a chef and you want to go ahead and chop it all up, do it. Here's some regular good old-fashioned prepared mustard. Of course, it's organic, and I want to encourage you to buy organic, buy locally grown organic. That's the best. And then we have a little red wine vinegar here. That's it. I'm throwing all of that together. I'm starting the blender up. This is one head of romaine. How easy is that? Just kick that up. All right, and then I'm gonna put a little bit of this ranch on there. Let's put a little more. What the heck? Let's put a little more. I'm just going to go ahead and do this in here. The one thing I am going to introduce you to on this episode, this first episode of the Transition Kitchen, is how to eat standing up. Maybe some of you don't know how to do that, and this is how you do it. You stand up, you cradle the bowl like this, you take the fork, make sure you're balanced, and delicious. I'm Gary Mattei with the Transition Kitchen for Responsible Eating and Living. We're going to go back to Karen, who was walking on Austin Street here in Forest Hills, and she's going to visit a new cafe that we think you're going to find very interesting, especially those of you who live in the area and have been looking for a vegetarian cafe in Fohi. Take it away, Karen.